Hello everyone, I am back once again with another Transformers review, and in today's review I will be taking a look at the Transformers Generations Legacy Buzzsaw. This version of Buzzsaw is based on the Beast Wars character who, as you all know, is a redeco of Beast Wars Predacon Waspinator, and meant to be a Yellow Jacket rather than, obviously, a Wasp. Obviously, the packaging doesn't specifically say Beast Wars Universe or Predacon Buzzsaw like it would say for his wave mates Night Prowler and Sandstorm. And I have to say that because we now have Waspinator in in Kingdom, we knew we were gonna get Buzzsaw at some point, either in Generation Selects or in Legacy as an exclusive, and Buzzsaw and his wavemates are exclusive to Walmart. We'll take a look at the packaging, and obviously to differentiate him and his wavemates from the mainline figures of Legacy, he has a closed box, meaning you can't, touch him like you would for the mainline figures. You get an image of him in his Yellow Jacket alt mode, flying in front and center. His name is Buzzsaw. Transformers Generations Legacy, he's a Deluxe class. On this side, you get an image of him in his robot mode and a close-up image of his face. His name in Ancient Autobot. Transformers Legacy. On this side, you get the Decepticon side of the Legacy art panel. On the back, you get renders of him in both his robot and Yellow Jacket beast modes. Transforms in 20 steps like Waspinator. And one thing differentiating him from Waspinator is that, unlike Waspinator, Buzzsaw uses the original Beast Wars toys robot head rather than the mutant head. And a bit of history for those of you who don't know, in the cartoon, Waspinator used his mutant head as it fit the character more than the robot head, as the robot head would be more so depicted with Buzzsaw in his fiction in the comics. And one thing that's different is that rather than go for the clear colored wings, they opted to go for black wings, which I will get into more detail in a minute. So there you have that. And another difference between him and his wavemates is that he doesn't have a QR code to scan for, where he came from, his bio, all of that. So that's a bit unfortunate, as I would have liked that, but it's whatever. So that's it for the packaging. Moving on to Buzzsaw himself. As you can see, he's pretty much a redeco of Kingdom Waspinator, meant to, obviously be a Yellow Jacket, and it gets the job done quite well, as he, even though the, stinger, the whole section back here is still, the same yellow and black striping, the rest of him is purple, black, and yellow, with green for the eyes rather than the purple that Waspinator had. Obviously, he still has the same, transformation as Waspinator. Nothing really, changed in this mode. The wings, however, I do like, as they are cast in a nice black matte plastic. And it's hard to tell what's, plastic and paint, given that this is plastic, but the head is all paint, and the mandibles, which, are still articulated, are either in plastic or paint. Same with, obviously, the legs. Articulation-wise, in this mode, obviously the wings are on ball joints, so they can flap around. They can rotate certain ways. The Yellow Jacket legs don't really do much in this mode anyways. So there you have that. And now for some comparisons. Here he is with his mold mate, that being Kingdom Waspinator. Obviously, the difference is in the colors in this mode, whereas in the robot mode, you're going to see the difference in head. Of course, you can swap the heads, though it's best not to do that in terms of, telling apart who is who. Then again, you can obviously tell apart who is who based on, you know, colors in both modes, and obviously head sculpts in robot mode. So there you have that. And for some other comparisons with, you know, fellow repaints, redecos, and or retools, here he is with his wave mate Sandstorm, who I may or may not have already reviewed by the time, you know, this one comes out. So if I haven't reviewed him, stay tuned for his review. Here he is with another fellow redeco, that being Shadow Panther, and other redecos just because. Here he is with the Beast Machine's Dinobot T-Rex and the Fossilizer Dracodon. So you can see how that works out. Obviously he doesn't want to stand. And for those of you who missed my review on Kingdom Waspinator, I will still show the transformation for Buzzsaw. As like I said, nothing's really changed, you know, for this figure. So obviously what you want to do is come to here, untab the legs, excuse me, take this section, untab it from the stinger, rotate it like so, and it will tab into the midsection like this. And the tab is surprisingly secure, whereas on Waspinator, for me, it felt like it was a bit loose. Fold out the feet like so. Obviously, like I did with Waspinator, rotate the legs so that they're not sticking forward and are not in the way of, you know, articulation. So there's the legs. Take the arms, rotate them out like this. Take the hands, rotate them like so. Do the same with this side. Bend at the elbow, obviously, rotate the wrist. Take this section, split open the head, the beast mode head, like this. Fold it down like so. Then everything will just lock and tab into place like this. And obviously you can do whatever you want with the wings. Me personally, to differentiate him from, you know, what I do with Waspinator, I like to keep the wings down. And there you have it. There is Beast Wars Buzzsaw in his robot mode. And say what you want about, you know, him and his wave mates not being, you know, the best in terms of, you know, colors, like, it looks like a piece of shit. Buzzsaw is probably the best looking one out of his wave mates, with Nightprowler, you know, probably being the worst, and Sandstorm being mediocre, even though, well, he should have been done better, and I will get, you know, touch base with him with his review. Let's take a look at the details, obviously starting off with the new retooled head sculpt to give him his robot head rather than, you know, reusing the same head from Waspinator. And if you're curious, for those of you watching, he does have the same, you know, light piping that Waspinator had. And obviously, if you saw my Waspinator review, and figures that have light piping, you know, are always a good thing. So the light piping shows green and purple if it does come across on camera. Now, obviously, nice red for the head, yellow for the face, nice green-purple visor, even though he technically is supposed to have eyes instead of a visor, but green for the shoulders with, you know, yellow for the circle, red, purple for the hands, crotch plate, and for upper arms. Obviously the same black and yellow for the forearms, the legs, with the sort of fading detail for where the knee is. So, and obviously the body is the same as Waspinator, so nothing really new to talk about. If you have Waspinator, then you know what to expect with Buzzsaw. And obviously he does come with the same, stinger weapon that is basically part of this. So it's still stupid, but it's their excuse of, making it a weapon. So not much to talk about there. Now for some comparisons. Here he is, obviously, with his mold mate, Waspinator. So you can see how that works out. Obviously, aside from the colors, the difference is in the head sculpt. Whereas Waspinator uses the mutant head, Buzzsaw uses the robot head. So there you have that. Here he is with his wave mate, Sandstorm. So you can see how that works out. And just because here he is with the other repaints I showed off, Kingdom, Dracodon, and Shadow Panther. So you can see how that works out. So some final thoughts on the Transformers Legacy Beast Wars Buzzsaw. I already, liked Waspinator from the start, so the only reason why I got Buzzsaw was because of the mutant head and because, well, we're probably not going to get, another proper Buzzsaw based on the Beast Wars character, as Thrilling 30, when they did Waspinator, they didn't do Buzzsaw, but they did, other characters. Is he a good figure? I mean, he still has the same, problems as Waspinator, but I feel like his tolerances are a bit better, at least on my copy, because my Waspinator, at least with the wings, started getting loose. So, yeah, overall, I definitely recommend him, especially if you want another Predacon, despite the fact that he was never in the Beast Wars cartoon, but in the comics. So, yeah. There you have it, guys. There's my review for the Transformers Generations Legacy Beast Wars / Predacon Buzzsaw. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.